10 photographs, 10 very different corners of rock history. Airports, festivals, a soccer field, and even the Oval Office. The familiar faces are easy. The details are where these pictures get interesting. Elvis Presley did not receive a normal invitation to meet President Richard Nixon. On December 21, 1970, he arrived in Washington carrying a handwritten letter and asking to become a federal agent at large. What he especially wanted was a Bureau of Narcotics and Dangerous Drugs badge. Within hours, Elvis was in the Oval Office, producing one of the National Archives' most requested photographs. Mungo Jerry were playing the Haarlem Pop Festival on June 28, 1970. That same week, In the Summertime was #1 in Britain. Ray Dorset was performing while the band's first hit was literally the country's biggest single. The bottles in Mick Jagger's and Keith Richards' hands are Bols Genever, carried as the Rolling Stones arrived at Schiphol on August 8, 1964. Later that day, they played the Kurhaus in Scheveningen. The show lasted only 4 songs before disorder in the hall forced it to be abandoned. 2 months earlier, Schiphol had seen another unusual British arrival. The drummer here is not Ringo Starr, but Jimmy Nicol, temporarily filling in after Ringo became ill. More than 3,000 fans were waiting for the Beatles on June 5, 1964, during the band's only Dutch visit. Alice Cooper at a Dutch soccer match? Sounds unlikely, but that is exactly where he was on March 10, 1974. He attended Haarlem versus Ajax and posed beside Haarlem manager Barry Hughes with a golden ball and a gold record. Contemporary reports said Cooper had specifically wanted to see Ajax during the visit. The woman beside Chuck Berry was not a reporter or promoter. She was his sister, Lucy Ann. They were photographed during Berry's press conference at Schiphol on February 3, 1965, a family detail hidden inside a publicity scene. Jefferson Airplane are on stage at the Holland Pop Festival in Rotterdam on June 26, 1970. Kralingen became one of Europe's earliest major multi-day outdoor rock festivals, drawing an enormous crowd into the woods outside the city. Film crews worked throughout the event as well, and their footage became Stamping Ground, the documentary that preserved the festival on screen. 5 members of the Mothers of Invention are crowded into this Schiphol photograph. Roy Estrada, Frank Zappa, and Don Preston in back, with Jimmy Carl Black and Bunk Gardner in front. The date was October 17, 1968. 3 days later, the band played Amsterdam's Concertgebouw during its second European tour. Fats Domino is performing at Amsterdam's Concertgebouw on November 3, 1962. A New Orleans rock and roll revue, complete with a large horn section, had taken over a hall far better known for classical music. Simon and Garfunkel are on stage at Rotterdam's Feyenoord Stadium on June 12, 1982. Their Central Park reunion the previous year had brought them back together after roughly a decade apart and led to this European tour. Rotterdam came after Paris and Zurich, with Dublin and